Killing me.
Okay, he's recording us right now. We can't say anything, okay?
No means no.
Or maybe for later.
Hey, guys.
That's bad. We set a bad precedence for this morning.
I'm all the way up here in Hesperia. I almost forgot about this meeting, man. I feel like I'm in the Ozarks.
Look at Nancy. She's going to go serve a restraining order right now. Fuck somebody's day up.
Hey, question. Got a
We don't have Scott and Tanya, right? Is that the only two?
Jojo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Got a 17-year-old minor with an FL. An adult has to be present to serve?
No, but an adult. Wait, I don't understand. A 17-year-old minor, you're going to serve with what?
FL, family. She has a baby already.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, probably started when she was 12.
Practice abstinence. No, I don't think you have to have an adult present.
Okay, so 12 and up.
Does she live with an adult?
I mean, she should. Yeah.
She is the adult.
She is the adult. Yeah.
Raising kids.
I don't think so in that circumstance. If you do personal service, I don't think you have to. Because 7, yeah, I don't think you have to.
Okay.
Okay, I think we got pretty much.
Good morning, Johnny. Good morning, guys.
Hello.
Hello, good sir.
Colin had a court this morning.
Can you hear me, Johnny? Good morning.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Just to make sure.
We all hear you. You're good.
Hey, go. Hi, man.
Good morning.
Whoever's khara in the back, go ahead and mute your mics.
Oh, sorry. That was me. I'm very bad. Sorry. The TV is on.
Oh, I just hear khara.
Yeah.
Holla.
Raphael, if you knew what that meant, you would not be saying that.
Probably not.
Oh, we hear other accents and we find them also like funny or weird. Each accent, dialect is different.
Right. Okay. All right, we're gonna get started today. I sent a list of things that I wanted to go over. I'll try to keep the meeting as brief as possible. I may have a few clients join this meeting as well too. I asked them if they wanted to hear in on this because I'm getting a lot of complaints. I'm getting a lot of pushback. Give you a little backstory. I've been spending a lot of money on marketing and trying to get more clients so we can get more jobs, so you guys can have more work. We dropped one legal back in April-ish, or they dropped us. I don't know how that went down, but we weren't giving them enough mobile attempts, and they wanted to not use companies and do individual process servers or whatnot. So, but they liked having us as a team, so they have put us at the top of their exchange. So we're going to be getting a lot of jobs from the exchange. So they're basically one legal jobs, but we're not going to be paying you guys a one legal rate anymore. So you don't have to worry about the fee. They're all the jobs that you'll be getting now will all be in-house jobs. So there's no one legal jobs. What I should do real quick, I'll talk about billing at the very end and make an adjustment to the billing sheets. So we're picking up a lot of new clients. We're getting a lot of new traction. Some of these clients are using us for the first time. That being said, we have to be on our best behavior because we don't have an established relationship with them yet, and they could drop us at the drop of a hat. And I don't want to spend money, get all these clients, have one or two little issues, and then they don't come back because I'm paying money to retain these clients. I have an iPhone 6. I have an iPhone and an iPhone. Who are those? Is that
I
okay?
have
One
an
of them
iPhone.
is Ishmael and Elias. Okay, just want to make sure that the people that are in here. One thing that we're having a big problem with, we're not reading instructions. We've had a lot of cases where you guys have been going out and putting you can't get into the gate, putting that you can't get into the property. There's no answer. You've gone 4 times and the person's not there. On many of these cases, if you would have just read the instructions, you would have seen that there's gate codes, there's property managers you can talk to, there is access. The plaintiff might meet you there. We have to start reading the instructions. We're having a lot of problems with this. I understand that the instructions are very small on your field sheets, and you might not even get them on the mobile app. But when you print out your instruction sheet, I want you guys to read the instructions. They may seem redundant. It might say establish diligence, skip trade, or what does it say usually for summons and complaint? Let me go here to instructions, default instructions, service instructions. I have 10 default instructions for you guys to be able to read. If you see those 10, usually you can skip the second half because you've memorized it, but I want you guys to take a look and focus on the instructions. For ADIR cases, bill at ADIR case type. And also the instructions will tell you how much to bill for as well. You want to verify your page count, make sure your document's printed correctly, verify the address prior to service attempts. Small claims can be subserved on the first attempt to anyone over the age of 18, where the person resides, works, or regularly receives mail. The dates, you guys remember the dates for small claim services, 15 days before the hearing for personal service, that's giving it to the person on the SC100, and 25 days for substitute service. Remember to check which county it is. If it's filed in LA County and you're serving in LA County, 15 for personal, 25 for subservice. If it's filed in San Bernardino and you're serving it in LA or vice versa, or it's filed in any other county that you're serving it in, you have to add an additional 5 days. So on that job instruction, the default says dates, SC dates prior to hearing, 15 days for personal service, 25 days for substitute service. Add 5 days if out of county. It's literally there. So I shouldn't have anybody subserve anything unless there's any instructions that trump that, serving it 4 days before the hearing and you've sat on the job for 20 days.
It's a long time.
It is a long time. That's so I don't know if you guys can see my screen. The ones that are driving, you don't really have to focus on that. I don't want you guys to be a hazard to yourself. CalCiv Pro, very simple. CalCiv Pro, bill at CalCiv Pro rates. That's just for the billing part. What I'll try to do is see if they can add a sub job for that, or sub instructions. Links jobs, these are billed at links, and all these are just telling you how to bill them when you get the jobs. On call, bill it on call. One legal, we don't need this anymore. Order to post. If you see an order to post, that means you can post the job on the first attempt.
Yeah,
Order to post.
the app not showing the instruction last time. That's what leading me
Okay.
not to see the instruction, Johnny.
But it's on your field sheet, so you need to pay attention to your field sheet. That's what I'm saying. When you
Okay.
print out your field sheet, it's going to print out the instructions. And if we didn't
what-
share the instructions or we missed putting it in instructions, that's on us. But if you missed the instructions and they were clear as day, that's on you.
You know what I would do? I would use a highlighter on the instructions.
There
all
you
the
go.
time. This
There
way
you go.
you'll have a
What I usually do sometimes is I will write my fee of what I'm going to bill, and at that time, like Ellie said, put instructions or circle it with a pen, just something that you know that needs to pay attention to. For an application in order to post, when it says order to post, so this is either a notice, an application in order to post. Again, then they have the sub instructions, subserve or post on first attempt. We're going to get a little more into detail with this one here in a little bit. Small claims, verify page count, docs printed correctly, verify address prior to service. Small claims can be served. Again, it's redundant, but you guys are not reading that. Subpoena service, verify page count and docs printed correctly, verify address. I know it sounds redundant, but we need to read these instructions. If you can skim through it, figure out anything that stands out. Usually when it's like this and there isn't additional information, or sometimes we might add a couple stars to point it out to you, Those need to be paid attention to. Serve on a specific date. Serve, after certain hours. Those need to be paid attention to. Subpoenas for when you have a subpoena and you print it out, double check to see if there's a check involved in there. If we sent you a check, if we did not, verify with us for the check. Maybe she missed it, maybe she didn't. Jeannie will try and go through the subpoenas and make sure she puts do not advance fees or advance witness fees, and then look for your check. Maybe she got busy, didn't send the check, you got to the docs faster than she could. Make sure we have our check. Advance your witness fees if instructed. Some places won't take an e-check, so I would like you guys, if you can, use your checkbooks, advance the fee, or contact us to get the checks prior to. Most places are doing the e-checks now, so we're good with that. If it's a subpoena for personal service, you need to personally serve them. I don't want you to say, I handed it to the son who said he would give it to his dad when he comes home next year. That's just not going to work. Business serves, if it's a business, serve the person authorized, the highest person in charge, your human resources, your risk management, your owner, your manager, whoever you have there. If it's for a doctor, this is kind of a tricky situation. If it's for an MD or a professional or serve somebody like that, you have Dr. Kevorkian, MD, Inc. And it has it set up kind of like a broad name. If it's for records, I don't care if you serve the office manager or anything like that. If it's for personal service, try to personally serve the doctor. It's okay if you have to be rude to the office administrator. It's okay if you have to be rude to the person in the front. I prefer you didn't. I prefer people just act like adults and get the doctor, make them, available. Ask, when will the doctor be available? Will he be out in a few minutes? I understand he's probably seeing patients. See what happens, feel it. If you think that the doctor will be coming by in a minute or two, if you have a description of the doctor and you see him come out to sign something and give it to the girls or whatever. I work in the medical industry, so I deal with doctors a lot. And I know they'll come out of the office every now and then. Sometimes you can see them in the clinic, sometimes you can't. Summons and complaint. This is where we're having a lot of problems. Read and review all instructions. Usually above this read and review line, Jeannie will add extra instructions if there are some. Endorse your summons and complaint. Make sure you have your endorsement information. If you need help with that, give us a call at the office and we'll try to work it out with you guys and try to make sure that we know, what the correct way to endorse that summons is. Verify your page count. Make sure your document's printed out. Serve manager will let you know it's 50 pages. You guys should know by now what a packet of 50 pages looks like, whether it's double-sided or single-sided. Verify your address prior to your service attempts. It's very easy to just click on the job, and see if it's a house. This one looks like it's a cul-de-sac. Just make sure it's a good address before you go out. If you're having issues with the address and it's not showing up, do a little more research before you do it. This will also help you with knowing when you get there what kind of house to look for. So, you kind of see, okay, this is the house. That's where I'm going to go. Oh, it's a cul-de-sac. I know to pull in, park my car facing out. Just your vigilant behavior needs to be adhered to when you're doing those. So verify your address. Diligence. Diligence is becoming a big problem. We're getting stuff subserved on the second attempt, the first attempt. Why are we subserving on the first or second attempt for individuals? They have to have diligence, guys. We need to make those 2 unsuccessful attempts before we subserve. We're getting lazy in that regard. We have to make sure that we do 2 unsuccessful attempts. Now, the only extreme circumstances that I will allow that is if the subject is getting hostile, if they're threatening you, if they're telling you, if you come back to my property again, I'm going to blow your brains out, because we've all had those really nasty people. If it's in those situations where your life or your person is in danger, subserve it, but we need to record that information. Okay? Don't just get lazy and the guy said, don't come back here. We got to get some, we got to be able to tell a court why we subserved it on the first or second attempt. Usually on the first attempt, people aren't that pissed off. Second attempt, I can see it, but I don't want any excuses for subserving on the first or second attempt. This is especially true for unlawful detainers. We're going to spend a little bit more time on that later on. Diligence is required for an individual. Now you have your exemptions for that. If you're serving a business, obviously you can serve a business on the first attempt. If you have a business and an individual, guess what? You're going to get the first one right away. You're going to come back for the other 2 attempts to get that individual. If it's at a UPS store or mailbox store, bam, you're done. You don't need to go back out. Just think of that in your head as cha-ching, we're going to get this served. Does anybody have any questions about diligence? I just want to clear that off the board right away.
Yeah,
Yes.
No,
don't.
sir.
What does diligence mean?
Raphael, you had a question?
I said no, sir. I'm good.
Oh, got it,
Thank
got
you.
it, got it. Okay, so my understanding is we do not have any questions for diligence. Thank you. For routine service, it says right there, please make your attempts within 1 and 3 days and update ASAP. We're going to get into service levels in a minute, but you should not be sitting on a job for a week. For rush services, this is a rush. This needs to be served right away. Rush is not, we want you guys to hurry up. Rush is, we have court dates coming up. We have restraining orders. We have safety of people. We have statute of limitations. We have OSC hearings. We have attorneys that had slept on the case and forgot all about it until the last minute, but they need to get it served or the judge is going to dismiss without prejudice, and they're going to lose on that case and end up paying their client a settlement when they haven't even started the case. And that happened recently. Rush means that it's an eviction. Every day they're in that house, the client is losing money. I want to show you guys a text message I got from a client earlier that just sent us about 50 jobs in the first 2 weeks. He's not very happy, and I had to basically kiss his ass and beg him to make sure to stay with us, and he's going to give us another chance, but we need to make sure that we take care of these clients. Call office to get authorization to attempt additional addresses if developed. If you get out there and they say, hey, they're not here anymore, they moved, to the building across the street or the building next door, they're in a different suite. If you don't have to get in your car and drive to somewhere to go serve another address, just bang it out. Let us know. I'll try and build a client, but usually just get that done. It saves you another trip out there, and it saves the client the heartache, or us the heartache of having to go back and forth, Jeannie wasting time, getting the skip trays, running that. If you get to the building and they say it's suite 250 and you go to 250 and they say, oh, they just moved next door to 260, don't cancel that out. Just go complete the serve. Now, if you have to get in your car and drive, let us know prior to going to the new address. We'll try to get you some more money on it or a bad address it out. You are not required to go to the new address unless it's an extreme situation. It's a restraining order. Oh, he's right across the street, around the corner at his buddy's house. They're playing pool. Those kind of situations, use your judgment. Report non-service. After your 4 attempts, it's a non-service. It's not a bad address. It's a non-service, or it's exhausted. If you get to the property and they tell you they don't live there or it's vacant, that's usually a bad address. Fail it out. Bad address correctly on your final attempt if it is a bad address. So it says report non-service, failed or bad addresses correctly on your final attempt. The reason we want to know on your 4th attempt that it's a non-service, so we can go back, upsell the client. The case doesn't sit there and we have to go, do our housekeeping time and figure out which cases are still moving, which ones are not. If we see a non-service, we can use our filters and we can figure out, this is a non-service. We have to go out. It's a bad address. We can find that stuff out and get it figured out from there. Provide your 5 points of identification. Guys, these are all on the label of the instructions. If they're not there, these are things you guys should be doing. We're going to get into that in a second here. And the last one is unlawful detainer. I'm not going to read these instructions, but I want you guys to read them because we're going to get in pretty detail with the unlawful detainers. Any questions so far? Okay. Item number 2. Again, number 1 was a big deal. So we need to read those instructions. We need to see there's gate codes. The clients are providing information. If you ask for information via a note, check for the notes to see what we're sending back. We'll reply back to you. Oh, sorry, the client forgot the gate code. Their first attempt is burned because they didn't do it. You have your 3 attempts left. Here is the gate code. Please utilize it. Or the client doesn't know the information. Try to figure it out yourself. If you get out there, you don't know a unit number, let us know what the unit number is. If that you're looking for a unit number, we'll try to get that from the client. But look and remember that we're going to try to get that info for you and look out for it when it comes back.
Can I point something out with
Yep.
unlawful detainee? If on the complaint, sometimes if there's no unit number, you could see it on the complaint itself.
You can. Yeah. We'll get into that here in a bit. We're going to spend a little bit of time on item number 16 on my list. Number 2, it's not a huge issue, but we need to kind of work on it a little bit better. Accept or decline as quickly as possible. If you're sitting on a job for 2 days, deciding if you're going to go and work the job, that does us no good. That's 2 days we've lost in the attempts. So figure out if you're going to take that job or not right away. Accept or decline them. And if you accept them, I want you guys to be committed to them. I want your 4 attempts. I want your final service. I want your non-service. I want your bad address. I want you guys to report it out quickly. If you decline a job, that's fine, but I need to know why jobs are being declined. And as they get declined more often, that's going to make Jeannie not want to send you stuff, because then that creates more work for her to go back and find a new server to service. We shouldn't be declining jobs because, for reasons of, I just can't make it out there, now or later. If it's a rush, we know she's going to call you. She's going to tell you she's got a rush. She's going to work that out with you guys. But if we send you a routine job and you sit on it for 3 days and then decline it, I'm going to be pissed off, because the client's going to have 3 days of nothing happening on their job. Also, again, if you decline because you change your area, or you just don't want to work that area anymore, or if it's sketchy, or you have a personal reason, let us know right away so we can get it corrected. And that way for future, we can figure out, hey, you just don't want to go to this area anymore, or this is your girlfriend's brother, you just don't want to serve, whatever the reason is.
Yeah, Johnny, some calls, like I have an area not far away where that lady hit me with the document on my face. I do not advise anyone to go like after 7 p.m. when it's dark over there. Even
we're going to get into that. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that too. We're talking about, that's going to be item number 18 on my list, if you guys can see.
Okay, Jordan.
Okay. Just write your questions down. And then at the end, if it's not, pertaining to anything here, we'll go back and we'll take some time to talk about them.
No
Number
problem.
3, full descriptions, guys. We're getting subserve John Doe. That's great. But who is John Doe? How did you know, he was there? Did you get a name? What does he look like? Remember, guys, if we're serving somebody, every single successful serve should have a description. Whether we require it or not, should have a description. If you're serving a registered agent, or if you're serving a business, I still want to know who is the human that you serve. If they don't give you their information, that's on them. John or Jane Doe is fine. If you get there and she says, my name is Ashley, but I'm not telling you my last name, Ashley Doe, refused last name, and then I want to know what she looks like. If you get out there and they, you see the person and they run away, you announce your service, John Doe it out. That's fine. If you have a description, I want those descriptions. Also, relationship. When you're talking to them, oh yeah, it's my brother. Well, I'm not telling you my name. We gave you his brother, so we need to know that it's the brother. We need to put that information down on your descriptions. Everybody who gets served needs to be identified. We're having some issues here with your guys' bulk. I don't know if it's bulk attempts, or it's lazy, or you guys don't want to get in there, or maybe it's an app issue. So I'd like some feedback on this. Save it for the end. We're getting substitute service personal. That shouldn't even be an option in here. It's kind of contradictory. You either substitute served, you either personally serve, you authorize serve. There's some attempts in here that I don't ever even use. Let me get into a job and see if I can kind of go over this and give you a little bit more detail without taking up way too much time. New attempt. So your first 3 options are bad address. That's the address cannot be served at. It's either a vacant lot. It's not, there's nobody there. If it's vacant, but it's not an unlawful detainer, you can bad address it out. If you get there, you talk to the family and you feel credible that they're not there anymore, bad address it out. Non-serve is on your 4th attempt. You can non-serve it out. Or if you get to the address and let's say it's a corporate and they say, I'm sorry, we don't accept any legal documents here. You have to go to our corporate or you have to do this, blah, blah, blah. You could either bad address or non-serve that out.
Yeah, Johnny, but that's what I was gonna to ask you. There is a lady in Culver City.
Okay, can we save it? Ishmael, I want to get through this because some of these people are still out in the field. We're going to save it. Just write them down and we'll chat at the end of it.
Please.
For unsuccessful attempts, you were not able to serve it. You got out there, they didn't answer the door, they weren't home. Unsuccessful means we're going back. Okay. Your next options are authorized. This should be for a business, a subpoena. They say I'm authorized to accept on their behalf. This is authorized. Businesses, you can put subserve business. That's if you do find the agent for service. If it's a corporation, you can put the person who accepted it. Government agency, I don't use it very often, but if you're serving like maybe the clerk of the court or you're serving a police department or something like that, you can put government agency. The main one I usually want to see is authorized, personal, posted, substitute service abode. Abode means you subserve them at home. Substitute service business means you serve them at a business address, or substitute personal, substitute service. I don't even know why they have substitute service personal because that doesn't, it's redundant. I don't want to see substitute service personal. Do you have any objections to that, Jeannie? Okay. So we don't want to see substitute service personal because it's contradictory. It shouldn't even be in there. I'll talk to serve manager about removing that as we go. Registered agent, you guys don't usually serve registered agents. Secretary of State, that's up in Northern Cal, you don't have to worry about it. Mail, I don't usually use mail unless we mail serve something, and you guys won't be using that because it'll be at the office. So we're going to use the 3 unsuccessful attempts. You can do authorized, business, corporation if you must, government agency if you need to, personal, individual, posted, subservice abode, and subservice business. Subservice means you did not give it to the named defendant. Remember that. The reason I bring that up is sometimes on your bulk attempts, if you're doing an unlawful detainer and you have 3 named defendants and then an unnamed occupant, you may have subserved the unknown occupant and then the named defendants weren't there. Break apart your attempts. If you get to the address, there's 3 defendants on there and an unknown occupant. You served the first named defendant. You can give him the unknown occupants as well. It should be personal service, subservice for the unknown, and then 2 unsuccessfuls for the other 2, unless it's your 3rd attempt. So again, watch your bulk attempts. If you go and you subserve documents on the 3rd attempt to an individual person that's also listed, make sure that it doesn't list them as subservice and everybody else. So break them up. Sharing your attempts, please make sure that on the app, you have the little, if you're using an iPhone or an Android, there's a little slider under sharing attempts. Make sure that our email and the visible little checkbox is checked off. I don't have that in front of me. If you have questions, we can dig into that deeper individually. But we need to share your attempts. I'm seeing a lot of cases that show attempted, but I can't see the attempts. Nancy can't see them. Jeannie can't see them. We can't share them with the client. So we need to make sure that they're visible. Also, we're not getting your signed proofs back. So when you guys sign it, I don't know if you guys are signing it or not because we're not getting any notification. So let's double check to make sure that it notifies us that the affidavits are signed. Is there any specifics on that one, Jeannie? Okay. Okay, so that's something we're gonna have to look into. Okay, I see that, Colin.
I have something there, Johnny.
With the affidavits?
Signed proofs, yeah, the signed proofs, even for the jobs I put in for California process servers, a lot of them are missing signatures, a lot.
Okay, well, that's
or if the servers are not checking some of the details, which I don't know that it's the server's job, but if you're signing an affidavit, you might want to make sure all the details are correct before you actually sign it.
I think that's a good practice that you guys go through, make sure the dates and times are good. Don't just blindly sign them. You guys know when you served stuff. You guys, know when you were out there, if the address was correct, is the correct address on the proof that you served. Maybe you went to different addresses. So just glance at them real quick and sign them. I think on Serve Manager, it does a bulk sign or just goes through and signs all of them at once?
As long as you read what they wrote for the declarations, that it's going.
I'm going into there too. Yeah, we're getting into that too. And I don't mean to make this meeting such a bitching and complaining. It's more of like a refresher, and that we need to kind of pay attention to these, because I've lost 2 clients in the last 2 weeks because of some issues with simple things that could have been done. License plates, you guys know license plates. License plates are free information. We don't have to run them, but log them down. If you see plates in the driveway, if it's a car that's there, or it's not, was there on one attempt, now it's not there, or wasn't there, and now it's there, just send it, just take a picture, upload it to the job. If you're taking a picture that you're verifying that your address, I know some of you guys like to take a picture, you're at the house or whatever, do a wide shot, get those license plates in there. If not, write the license plates down. If not, if you can't take a picture, just write the vehicle, make and model, and the license plate. That helps us a lot. We may not use it, but it'll help us out as we go figuring out the case. It'll also tell us, when you get your 4 attempts, do we want to now set up a stakeout? Maybe we can get you guys upsold on a stakeout, spend a couple hours catching up on your work, making some money, waiting for somebody to come home. If we have that additional information, it's free. Let's get that. Okay, number 7. This is something new that it's not new, but this is something that I want to dive into a little bit deeper. When you guys are serving these cases out here, you have your narrative. You know what's going on. I know Shakayla is very good, gives us a play-by-play. I know some of the guys will put in more details. Try not to write in code, because what happens with that attempt will transfer over to the declaration of diligence. Now, if it's personal service, that's not going to transfer over. But if it's substitute service, or you guys are making your attempts and you get out there and you type out, arrived at the house, big fat man out front, drinking beer, that's going to transfer over to the declaration of diligence. The client is going to see that, and so is the court. I'd like to be a little bit more professional in that regard. The same thing about talking in code. Arrived at address, subject, not home, knocked on door, subject pulled up, Let's talk a little more fluidly and a little bit more concisely. I'm going to show you a case here that I worked on just recently, and this is kind of how I like it to be. Why am I not working? So this is an investigation case that I worked on, and Scott worked on it. Scott did a 4-hour stakeout. 4-hour stakeout, 3 to 7 p.m. Number 217, left side, and 19 right side are besides each other. Duplex. No vehicles parked on the driveway. There's a Honda Civic parked on the curb, a few doors down the street. I would have liked some license plates on that. That Honda Civic, you don't have that? Let's see. I want that license plate, Scott. Videos. That license plate would have helped me out, because I believe that is the subject's car. There it is. So I'm going to run that plate, and I believe that belongs to the subject. Okay, the blue VW pulls behind me, Hispanic male, lights. There we go. So I got ahead of myself. Goot, I don't know what that is, but he's giving me a play-by-play of what's going on. This is fine, because when I click new affidavit, declaration of diligence, all of that information is going to transfer onto here. We don't have time to sit here and go through and clean that up for you guys. I would like it to be put in correctly. If you don't want the client to know, don't put it in the attempt. Put it in your note. The next thing is my attempt. Ethan, this guy's an idiot, in case anybody's wondering. Where he's trying to say that he doesn't live there. Anyway, Ethan Paz called the office inquiring about the legal flyer that he received on Friday, September 20th via certified mail. On September 23rd, Mr. Paz called again regarding the flyer. Ethan and I had a discussion. He asked why he received this letter at his home. I told him it could have been a marketing flyer, and he asked me why it was sent certified mail. I told him it could have been the marketing teams sending the flyers out incorrectly. It was not. We sent a certified letter to verify this guy does live there, and the dumbass called me to tell me he lives there. So This is kind of like how I want the narrative to be. It's basically talking about what happened. We're going back and forth. I asked him if there was anyone else in the household who may have had legal issues, such as a lawsuit, car accident, or other matters of the law. He said his co-occupant was going through a dissolution. So in this particular case, just give you a quick background. This guy is now living with the lady. The guy is trying to reduce the child support and the spousal support because she found a new man, but she's not telling the court, and she's still milking him. This is her new man. And so now we are going to write a nice declaration to the court, and the attorney is going to argue that he should not be paying spousal support because they live together. And how do I know that? With the work that we did putting that together. Okay, so try to keep your guys' narratives in a freer flowing. Make sure you guys are checking your grammar, your spelling. Don't talk in code. I know sometimes it's hard to type on the phone, so just if you get a chance, go back and write that information. If you want to make your attempt in the field and then go back and type on the computer, that's fine with me as well. There is something new now on Serve Manager. There's a pass-through. So on some of these exchange jobs and some of the clients, they're getting that information directly. I arrived at the house. The dude was standing naked in front of the house. I told him that I had papers for him. He, defecated on the front lawn and ran away. I was not able to serve the documents. The client's going to see that. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us a call. And now it's going to waste time. Jeannie has to answer. She has to call you. What happened? What did the guy do? So we want to try to keep the narratives straight to the point. Don't put that you got out there. I think I put that on. Okay, so we're gonna add that to number 17. So I'm gonna bundle number 7 and 17. Don't put that you arrived at the house, you saw the guy, he saw you, he ran inside the papers, and he didn't serve, or you dropped serve. I want to know what happened. I don't say you got to the house, you looked in the window, and the guy was sitting there on the couch. I think we just had this recently. Actually, one of our older process servers, he's not in this meeting. He just called me yesterday to ask me what I would have done. I'm getting a lot of serve through the window. I need more information why you serve somebody through a window. Did they see you? Did they acknowledge you? Did they make contact with you? Did you tell them you had legal papers and they ran away? Did you knock on the door, they recognized you from before and they bolted? I need to know more information. Technically, we're not supposed to serve somebody through a barrier. COVID kind of changed that a little bit. People didn't want to open the door. They were afraid of illnesses. They were afraid of sickness. I need a description. If you serve somebody through a window or a screen door or something, do your very best to give me a description. If not, I want a narrative. I arrived at the house. I knocked on the door. Nancy opened the door, but the screen was closed. I could not really see the subject very well, but I asked if it was Nancy. The subject gave me indications that it was them, but refused to verify. I announced that I had legal papers. Then the subject slammed the door. I was not able to get a description, but based on my experience, I was able to reasonably believe that this was the subject, or this was the sister of the subject whom I had spoke to before. Give me that narrative. You don't necessarily have to put that in the attempt. You could put personal service if you believe it was them, but then go back and memorialize your attempt in the notes. Add that stuff in the note. Don't put that you got there, you got in a huge fight, the subject, attacked you and in the attempt. Go back and put that in a separate note. We still want to memorialize the date and time that happened, but we don't need that so much as to go through straight to the client. If you get there, you talk to the guy, he acknowledged you were a process server, shut the blinds. You knew it was him. Don't put all that in the attempt. Just put personal service, then go back into your notes and give me what happened. Make sure those notes are visible for us. If something happened that's not really important to us, but you think might come up later, you don't have to share it, but we'd like to know, because the client's going to call us next. They're going to ask us what happened, and the more information we have, the less time it wastes calling you, trying to figure out what happened, and coming back and forth. I'm sorry that I'm sounding like a broken record, and I'm talking fast. I'm just trying to get through this so you guys can get on your day. So number 7 and 17, we discussed. Number 8, routine service versus rush service and your expected duration. Guys, routine service is 3 days. If you get the job today, whether you accept it today or tomorrow, the time starts from when you accepted the job. So routine service starts from the day you get the job. I want an attempt at least between 1 and 3 days. That's not hard to do. If you guys have a vast territory, bundle them up, a couple on this side of town, bundle up a couple on this side of town for your routine work. Now, if you happen to get pulled across to another side for a rush and you want to do another attempt sooner, that's fine. But I need an attempt within 3 days. For rush services should not go past 4 days. There has to be some kind of circumstance that makes them go past 4 days. Maybe they just want the attempts on the weekends. Maybe they just want the attempts Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's understood. But if you get a rush service, I need those done within 4 days. Rush service means you're going to make an attempt once every day until you non-serve it out, you bad address it out, you vacant, whatever the case may be. I need a rush service attempt every day. The reason we call you to get your confirmation that you can take on a rush service is because we want to make sure you're going to do that. We're going to get into the unlawful detainers as well here in a minute. Jeannie wants me to point something out to you guys.
Well,
Is this for rush service or is this okay?
it for right now.
Okay, here's when I remember this. They
He
got pissed off.
posted it and see where it says do not post treated as a summons. You need diligence. And he posted it.
Okay, well, you guys are off the hook on this one because this server is not in the meeting. Instructions say,
Treat as a summons.
please serve as you would a summons. Make at least one evening attempt after working hours. Notify us after 3 unsuccessful attempts. Make note of any vehicle plates. Take photos of property. If there are any renter occupying the residence, serve them. Please serve this on a rush basis.
Treat as a temp.
And we got that on September 20th at 12:40 p.m.
It's very rural though.
And 4 days went by and he posted it on the first attempt. This is an example of not reading instructions and treating the job as it would.
Hey, John, can I ask a quick question
Sure.
about the unlawful detainers? If we can't gain access to the front door, do we need to get permission from the client to post it to like their gate or something?
I'm going to get into that here in a bit as well. I'm going to dig pretty deep into unlawful detainers. I'm trying to burn through all these guys, but yes, we'll get it. I'll answer that topic.
Okay.
Routine service, 1 to 3 days, guys. I don't want these jobs going on longer than they have. I had jobs that were sent out September 11th and September 12th. I didn't get any attempts until I think September 20th, 8 days out. I understand some of you guys have other jobs. I understand you guys are doing some other things. If you guys need a break, if you guys don't want us to send the work to you guys, that's fine. But the routine jobs the routine jobs are the easiest as far as managing your time. 1 attempt every 3 days. If you make more attempts faster, great. But I expect at least 1 attempt every 3 days. Morning, evening, afternoon, weekend attempts. Just get those attempts in there, guys. For the rush ones, same day. Now, I'm going to get specific with UDs. If you guys are doing UDs, if you can make your attempts and close it out within 2 or 3 days, even better. I might work on some kind of a system where I give you guys a bonus. UDs, you can make an attempt in the morning and the afternoon, the next morning, the next evening, bang them out, done, get the client what they need, great. The UDs, every day that these people are in that property, it's costing the clients money, hundreds of dollars. If your rent is, $3,000 a month, that's pretty cheap in LA. $3,000 divided by 30 days, that's $100 a day that the client is losing. I understand you guys are getting paid on these, and I'm going to work something out for the faster ones if I can add like little bonuses and things like that. But we got to get these guys banged out, guys. We can't let them go on. I had a UD that took 9 days before they before they non-served it out.
Do it have to be 8 hours in between the attempts?
As close to 8 hours as you can. If it's off by an hour, half hour, 2 at the most, that's fine. But we want to try to get at least 8 hours apart. Okay. But I need to
Can I
get
ask one more question?
Yes.
On multiple serves at the same location, is it ethical? Like I had one last week, it had like a dog bite, but the gate said beware of dogs. So the first attempt I was able to serve someone, but the second, it's like,
I think I know your question.
Go ahead.
I think I understand your question. In that particular case, if you are clearly serving a dog bite and it says beware of dog and you catch somebody, just tell me why you did it that way. Am I correct? You don't want to keep going out to
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry for assuming.
So basically, I served. I had like 4 people. I got one of them. So let me know if this is unethical. But I was like thinking strategy. It's like, hey, they're gonna tell everybody else. I'll probably have one more attempt to try to get somebody. So when I went the next time, I went in the morning. I very softly knocked on the gate. Nobody heard me. I just put unsuccessful attempt. But when I came back, I was able to subserve everybody. Is that ethical?
You were
Or
unsuccessful. I think I'm gonna rule that as unsuccessful.
oh,
If you get out, I mean, it's the sheriffs do it all the time. They drive by the property, they don't see anybody out, they just keep driving, and that's an unsuccessful attempt.
Yes, they do.
Um, I'd like you to do your best efforts, but I understand what
Okay.
you're saying. Your best efforts would be appreciated.
okay. All right.
I
was just trying to serve
I
them.
understand. I understand. I know what you're getting at. We'll talk more into detail about that as we go. So going back to accepting, declining, making one attempt, I don't have enough margin in the jobs to pay you guys for incomplete work. So if you make 2 attempts on a property and you're like, I can't go back out there, I have obligations, I have, things to do, I can't pay you. So basically what you're doing is you're forfeiting the work that you guys already put into that job, because technically you're not completed with that job. So I would really like you guys to commit to these jobs. I'm not asking, for you guys to jump through hoops. Sometimes the clients do, but that's just the way these jobs come out. But I need you guys to be able to complete the job. If you make 2 attempts and you can't go back out and complete the job, if it's due to an injury or due to family emergency or due things like that, I'll try to work it out with you guys as much as possible, but I need you guys to do your best efforts to finish out the jobs. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with that because that doesn't happen very often, but I just need those, efforts and attempts to be completed. Sign your proofs ASAP. I'm sure Nancy's going to nod her head in a minute, but yes, sign your proofs ASAP. If you guys don't know, some of the jobs come through our office. They're from Nancy. She uses you guys to serve most of our stuff. So sign your proofs right away. Nancy will appreciate it. The other Nancy will appreciate it, and the clients will appreciate it, and Jeannie will appreciate it, and I will appreciate it, and you guys will appreciate it because you're not going to get a call saying, "Hey, sign your proof." So that's not a hard one. Just sign your proofs. If you're going through your stuff, you go to add your next attempt. I think Serve Manager is notifying you guys now in the app to let you know to sign proofs. Review it real quick, fire away, done. Photos. Some of you guys like to take pictures. I love pictures. So upload your pictures away, upload your videos. If things happen, add pictures. They add to your credibility. Take a picture of license plates, front yards. If you're in the middle of a serve and somebody's acting belligerent, sometimes pulling out your phone could calm them down or piss them off. Use your judgment. Pull out your phone, record the situation, see what's going on with these people, take a picture. If you have somebody running away from you, snap a shot at the back of their head. Don't shoot them in the back of the head. Snap a shot of them in the back of the ship. Because I know some of us would like to. Just take a picture. You got the best, blurry photo of the guy running. That adds a little bit extra layer of credibility to you guys.
I
Audio
had
is
one of those
fine.
last week.
I think I saw that. Yes. Audio is fine if you need to record a conversation with somebody. This is I don't want you guys serving on Ring doorbells. Ring doorbells are a pain in our ass, but I don't even want to justify it. If you have a video, I can't believe I'm saying this. If you have an audio and video recording of the subject on a Ring doorbell telling you to drop serve it, after we've already exhausted attempts, this is our second round of attempts, we've done a stakeout, and there's no other way to serve this guy, maybe I'll let it slide. But I want a complete video of them saying, yes, my name is so-and-so, I authorize you to do that. So, just scratch that last part unless it's absolutely necessary. Your notes in the job, again, we talked about this. Put notes in the job. If you have an encounter and you want to memorialize it, put it in the job. The date and time will be locked in. If if you personally serve somebody, but there was some stuff that went down that you think might be of importance, put it in the notes. Read your notes, read our notes. If we're telling you guys to go back out, send us a response email, receive, we'll go back out, confirm that. Usually accepting or declining the jobs now is kind of like you're received and printed for us because we're utilizing that. But if you get a job note, confirm that you're going to a new address, confirm that I asked you to make another attempt, confirm, whatever the note is back and forth. And if you send us a note, expect an answer or a call or a text. So if something goes by for a few days and you don't hear anything, try and follow up if you have those. Your diligence before subservice. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but it's very important that we establish diligence, especially on UDs and summons and complaints. We're getting a lot of rejections now from clerks. I have, I think, 3 rejections that we had to fix because one wasn't served with enough diligence and the server just didn't make his attempts visible, which is fine. But every time we get a rejection, that costs the client $25. So just be mindful of that. I'm not telling you guys these things because I want to bitch and complain. It's costing money, and I'm trying to be efficient for you, for us, and for the client. Times for attempts. All right, let's see who's getting put on the call in. Okay, I'll cut you a little bit of slack on this one. Okay. This job was a summons and complaint on a business with an agent for service.
Be brutally honest, please.
But I believe this is a home address. You went at 11:19 a.m., 10:47 a.m., 4:27 p.m., and 4:42 p.m. This is 2 attempts right around the same time. I didn't check the date, so maybe one of these might be on a weekend. I don't recall if any of these were weekends. And then the other 2 attempts were right around the same time in the evening. We are August 23rd, so that's 8 days before the first attempt, 4 days before the next attempt, and then another 7 days after the next attempt. This job, I had to refund the client because they called me out on it. This is too far apart and the times are too much in the middle of the day. I think I said, please do another round of attempts, trying later in the evening after 6 p.m. Verify if this is a home or a business address. Do you remember this one? I'm not putting you on the spot to put you on the spot, but I want to make an example.
No, I get it. I don't recall that job. I need to look at the.
You're going to recall it right now when I click on the case number. This is this many summons and complaints. It's a very big case.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
And they're big packets too. So we have like 6, 7, 8 entities that all need to be served.
That one's confusing though because I'm not sure if it's a business or a house.
But you got into the property.
Yeah. It's one of the.
I couldn't hear any movement inside the time, and there's no way for me to see inside. Unsuccessful attempt. It looks like this is a
That's the front of the building.
Condo inside of a commercial, like a retail condos.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to refund the client on this one. I told them that we would get it done at no charge. So let's, bang this out. But I mean, the job was sent out August 12th. We didn't get a first attempt till 11 days later. I understand you guys are busy. I understand you guys are, doing other things. I want to keep you guys fed. I want to keep you guys in the field. But this one was a bad example of how to serve. And not to mention, there's like 7, 8 packets in your car. You got to get those out of your car, man. That thing's going to be sliding around,
Yeah.
I just want to be held. I'm offering exceptional service, and I want you guys to be held at a higher standard as well too. Okay, I'm not going to keep picking on you for that. So we'll move on to the next situation. This one I'm going to touch very briefly on. If anybody wants to do an EWO, they're going to be $75 serves, but they require 3 stops. George did one this morning. I don't know if I sent anybody else out. No, I sent the other guy out. EWO or bank levy. So this is a earnings withholding order. We're going to start getting a lot of these. What they are, I think Colin's done one before. What you do is basically show up to the sheriff's office with a packet and a check. You open it at the sheriff's office, which is kind of like filing it. You go, you serve the employer, you get paid your regular stuff, and then you go back to the sheriff's office and you close it out. And the sheriff's office will be the closest one to your region. I'm not going to pull you out of the area. Those might pay 75 to 80 bucks. So I might, keep you posted. The only thing to mention on those is if you serve that, you have 5 days to close that out. So you can open it today. You have to make an appointment. I'll make that for you. You go in with your appointment, you open it up. You want to serve it the next day? Fine. I usually like them done pretty quick. I like to do them all the same day if I could. But once you serve it, you have 5 days. If anybody wants more information about that stuff, reach out to me afterwards and I'll touch base on that. You are the inspiration for that number 15, William. So they're complicated. There's a lot of work involved, but we can help you out with learning on that stuff. Before I get into the unlawful detainer workflow, we're going to keep going through. I want to add something at the end. Announcing service, drop serving. I touched on this real quick. Try not to serve people through windows. I understand nobody wants to open the door, but if you're going to serve somebody, make sure they know what's happening. Don't just say, I see the guy, boom, throw it at the window, and the guy's like, no idea what happened.
Just
make it
scream,
aware.
guys.
What's that?
Just scream. Let them know they're being served.
Exactly.
Don't worry
Knock on
about
the window.
neighbors.
Get them to turn their head. Get them to get up and walk out of the room if they hear you. You can bang on a window, bang on a door. You are being served with legal papers, because chances are they're probably on the other side of that door recording. Take that to court. Yeah, this guy was trying to rob my house. And you're back there screaming, you're being served with legal papers. So if you have to serve somebody through a window, which I really would like to avoid, but you can see them, I need a description. You can pull out your phone, you can record them through the window and say, Mr. So-and-so, you're being served. Actually, I got a good little chuckle for you guys.
If they have Ring cameras, that actually works in your favor.
It does. They can bring that to court.
Yeah.
I have a little video I want to share with you guys. This is one time that I have served through the window. I save these guys and I sometimes will post them to the Instagram. So watch your language, but you can send me these videos and I'll post them if you guys want. I'm trying to find that video without taking up too much of your time. I'll find it and I'll try to post it at the end of the video. Anyway, so going at the end of our little training this morning. Videos, evidence, credibility, put your attempts at the spot with your GPS, add everything to back you up that you made a good serve. If the client's going to object to your serve, you're going to go to court, but that's not on you. You've got everything to back your ass up. How did it go this morning, Colin?
It went well. I mean, it was just me sitting there basically while they worked everything out.
Chances are the first thing that happens when you guys go to court to testify in your cases is they know that you're there and they have nothing else to say. So they're done. And you'll just sit there and get paid to chill. Sorry, I'm seeing if this is the one. No, that's the lady getting served on her birthday at the party.
It's hilarious.
I'll find that video. It's a really good one, and I'm literally recording myself having a conversation with the guy as I'm serving him through the window, and he won't acknowledge me. And then he finally gets up and sees that he's getting served, and he runs away. Okay. Announcing. So make sure that when you do our drop serving, or you are serving in any situation, you announce service. It's important. You are being served with legal papers. There might be a birdie listening somewhere, and they know what your intentions are, and that'll play in your favor. I did announce service. I did tell them that they're being served. Somebody just had that situation yesterday where they announced service. William did. For what was his name? Albert. That was a good serve, man. You really made the guy happy.
Thank you.
trying to find that job. What was that? What was the lady's name? Chandra? William? The lady you served yesterday, I wanted to show the example of that serve. You're muted.
I believe Monique or something.
Monique? The one you went to twice.
Yeah, I believe her middle name is Monique.
This one right here. Okay, so this was a woman with a child. The husband found out, or the father found out that she's going to be dipping the state and moving out of the state and taking the child with him. There's no custody order. There's no protection order. There's nothing to stop this woman from taking the baby and leaving the state. We found out that she was leaving tomorrow morning. She's probably on a flight right now. And the client sent it over as a rush. We knew tomorrow would be our only chance. William jumped on it. He made an attempt at 5 p.m., knocked on the door. White male answered the door. I said, may I speak to the house manager? He said that she's not in. How can I help you? Is there David, blah, blah, blah. And she wasn't there at the time. He came back a few hours later. Again, this is one of those where the 3-hour rule doesn't, or the 8-hour rule doesn't apply. His next attempt, knocked on the door. African-American male answered the door. I said, I have a delivery. Can I speak to the house manager? He asked me my name. I told him my name is William. He introduced himself as Clyde. A few moments later, a lady came to the door holding a baby. She said, how can I help you? I'm the house manager. I said, I have a delivery for Sadasha Staten. And she said, what's this? I said, legal documents. She would not take them, so I dropped server. Beautiful serve. And now the lady has left the state, but there's a court order that makes her to bring, or has to bring, the baby back. He'll deal with it, but our job is done. And
Just to update, because I have glaucoma, it's very seldom I go back out at night. So when the daylight savings times change, it's going to be a lot of serves I won't be doing after sunset unless it's very, very important, just to let you know or remind you.
well, I just want to say thank you for that, sir, because this is what it turned out to be. Efficient, reliable. The mother of my child was fleeing out of state, and they helped me with the rush service, and process served went twice because the first time she went wasn't available. Thank you guys. So that's a 5-star review on Google, and those help us out. Okay. All right, let's keep going down the list.
Nighttime serves are fun.
Yeah, some people like their, well, this leads into the next topic, number 18. Know your area. You guys work in your same territory. If you want to expand your territory, let us know. If you want to decrease your territory, let us know. But you guys should know your territory. You guys know which serial plaintiffs or serial defendants there are. You guys know which companies get served all the time, where you guys go, where you park, how to get to that location. Okay, I know that this guy, it's a registered agent. We have to serve this guy all the time. This is a CPA. He does, shady business for all these other people. He gets served all the time. So know your territory. Know where your traffic spots are. Know where your parking spots are at the locations you go to. Know what times you should go. Know the areas, like Ishmael and William said, that might be a little bit shady, and try to avoid those times at night. But just put that in your attempt. Unable to make an evening attempt. The area is a bit dangerous in the evening. Too many gangbangers. Too many, whatever the situation is. But know your area. Learn your area, guys. You guys, some of you guys have a huge territory, and it's hard to know every corner of it. Some of you guys have a very small area. Just learn your area, learn your freeways, learn your back roads, your alleys, your parking spots. Again, parking I say all the time because I don't like paying for parking, so I know where I'm going to park at certain places. The Hill Street Bridge is one of my favorite examples. I don't ever pay for parking downtown. I'll just hang out for a minute or two. Hill Street Bridge. But learn your areas and learn your cases. Learn, for example, I think Elias is a good example for this one. This was the case that he served just a few days ago. This case right here was an application order post. We're going to get into that here in a little bit. But if I click on this, we've got a lot. Ali had already gone out multiple times to try to serve this. So if you get an unlawful detainer and you're not able to serve it and you non-serve it out, Save your packet because that's coming back to you. Know your area. Know that you're probably going to go back out to that same location. Remember your attempts from before. So again, this is part of knowing your cases. Remember your attempts from before. Remember what worked or what didn't work for you. If you have a job where we're serving some legal papers and then you get another case again for the same person, now it might be a subpoena. Try to use your advantage the times you went out before and try to catch them at the same times again. Okay. Knowing your cases, when you get your packet, oh, summons a complaint, default, I know what needs to be done. Any specific instructions? Nope, we're good to go. That leads me into reading your documents. Guys, learn your documents. If you have questions or you need help or you want me to help you out, I would love to help you guys out with your documents. I don't mean know what the documents do, know how to serve those documents. Small claims, what are your rules? What are your requirements? If you ever have questions on them, they have a proof of service that literally will tell you what information you need. So you can read through your proof of services. For small claims, you know that you need to have certain criteria, which is going to be, and I'm just going to use this one as an example. Here's your small claims packets. Know where to find your information, your court date, your time, your department name, which court it's at, your case number. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. Then you know who is the plaintiff, who's suing who. Who are you suing? Is it a business? Is it an entity? You guys can go back to this. Elias made a point earlier that sometimes the documents can help you with certain information. Maybe the field sheet didn't have a unit number, but go back to the documents. The documents might tell you what the unit number is or who you're looking for. That'll be on the actual small claims. Do we not have an SC 104?
With the different legal documents you're trying to serve, how would you know which document for how would you look up the proof of service for
I'll tell you that
certain...
I'll add that to the end of I'll add that to the end here in a minute. So here is a proof of service for a small claims. The court is here, the case number, case name, the hearing date, time, and department. This goes on the proof of service. If you are serving a person, write the person's name below. I am serving John Smith. If you are serving a business or an entity, write the business entity and the agent for service and their job title. So if we're serving ABC Corporation and William May is the agent for service, it's going to say ABC Corporation, William May, and he's the owner. He's the registered agent. He's the CEO. Whatever goes here determines your next box. What are the documents you're serving? That's why it's important. Make sure your summons, your complaint, your 5-6 pages of your SC 100, any amendments, any subpoenas, things like that. Those are critical. We want to know what we're serving. Goes down here. Phil, was it personal service? This is item number 4. Personal service or substitute service? If you did not give it to the person here, then A is not checked off. But if it's A or B, person, I personally gave the documents checked in 3 to the person in 1. I gave the documents in 3 to the person checked in 1. If not, it's substitute service. So what is the information we need for substitute service? You have B, substitute service, a competent adult over the age of 18 at the home and living with the person. Can't serve the gardener if he's there. You have to have another co-occupant, an adult who seems to be in charge where the person usually works. So if you're sub-serving at work, and this applies to the summons and complaints as well too, except for your diligence rules are different. An adult who seems to be in charge where the person usually receives mail or has a private post office box. If there is no known physical address for the person, so you served them at a UPS store, postal annex, things like that. On what date? That's on both of these. What time? Both of these. The city and the address, that's all here. But then if you subserve, look at that. Name or description of the person I gave the person to and the papers to. I also need their title if you can get that. After you do substitute service, you have to mail it. We usually will do the mailing for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Nancy and Jeannie will take care of that. But you can see here how personal service is better than substitute service. It's less work, less stuff, less steps. We need your information here, and then you guys will sign it. I'm sure you guys will all have seen those. Same thing with a POS 10. POS 10 is a little bit more complicated, but I'm just going to briefly go through this. You guys can read these on your own time. And if you guys can see, I Googled POS 10. Look who comes up, your friendly neighborhood process serving company. That's my hard marketing dollars at work. I want to get
Erase your
busy so that
cookies
you
and
guys
see
can
if
get
you'll
busy.
come back up.
What's that?
Erase your cookies from your browser and see if you come back up. That's how you can tell. Or do it anonymously.
Yeah, I usually do that. For your point here. We are up there. I mean, sometimes it'll rank, sometimes it'll, we actually stopped the campaign for a week or two. Anyway, for summons and complaints, here is the same format. You have the attorney caption, you have the information, the court date, the case number, what are the documents you served? It's a little bit backwards, but what are the documents? And who did you serve? Party A, specified name of party as shown on documents. You check this off if it's a business. I serve the human. This is where the human name goes. The address, again, by A or B. I'm going to leave this up for a minute and we'll go from there. But just check your documents. If you guys need help with that, spend some time one-on-one. I welcome any of you guys, as long as it's not disruptive, to come and hang out with Nancy for a couple hours. Not the blonde Nancy, the brown hair Nancy. It changed it. The Nancy at the office. You guys can come into the office and sit with her and watch her do proof of services, and you can learn a lot from that if you guys want to do that. I'm going to get to that a little bit more on number 22. Your areas, your regions. Don't take cases if they're not in your area. If we accidentally sent it, decline it right away. If you don't want to work that area, let Jeannie know. For billing, I haven't really updated the, while I'm in this folder, I want to make a quick point.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, my name is Tara.
Excuse me? No,
Tara.
no, Tara is another.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job, Ishmael. While I have this open, as you guys can see, I keep all of your guys' registrations and bonds on file. So if you have a bond or a registration expiring, please update it and then send us the current one as soon as possible. Look at this, look at this, look at this handsome little guy. I'm calling you out, George. I keep it. I like to see, I go through these and I like to look at everybody. Going to.
Yeah, that's not there. Thank you.
Just show them mine. I look so dressed up on mine. I look so good on mine. I'm so proud of my picture.
Look at Shakayla showing off.
Outstanding.
Look at me. Dressed up to a T.
Look
It
at
made
me
me
now.
take the cowboy hat off the shooter. I was looking good that day.
Good times. What am I looking for here? Where is my document?
They told me to take my beanie off. So I had to make my hair all awkward.
Okay, guys, this is the pay sheet. You guys have all seen this.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Never get paid, eh?
All right, and you see I update it usually, so make sure you use the most current one. We're gonna do this, guys. We're gonna bump this up to 55. I need you guys to focus on these UDs. You guys are gonna get paid 55 bucks. I want you guys to bang them out 2-3 days. Get your attempts, get them done. This is for your billing. If it says if it doesn't say anything, it's an in-house case. Restraining orders, court orders, application order to appear, 50 bucks. Rush same day, 50 bucks. Rushes are treated, one attempt every 4 days at minimum. 3-day, 30-day, 60-day notice. Doesn't really matter who it comes from. These are 25 bucks. You guys know the drill. They're easy peasy. Boom, pop it in. Use your yellow tape, your blue tape, tape it to the door. Additional defendant, same address, 10 bucks. Okay. I'm gonna talk to I'm gonna change some things around. I may add it to 15 bucks on UDs. I really want to compensate you guys for these UDs. For all in-house cases, anything over 30 pages, you guys get paid 10 cents a page, so bill me for it. For ADIR services, they're $30. They don't pay for bad addresses. We've talked about this, so no bad addresses. They get unlimited attempts until you're done working on it. You don't want to work on it. If you don't complete it by serving it, you can give it back to us. If you don't want those cases, fine. We won't send them to you. A couple of you guys have worked some of those out. You know how quickly you bang those out and how much they pay. Some head nods would be good if you worked on any of those ADR cases and you like them. It doesn't stop at 4 attempts. It stops when we run out of time to substitute serve or personal serve. If you absolutely feel like you're not going to serve it, just let us know. I can add them to another server. Maybe they want to make a few attempts before it closes out. Have another bite of the apple there. This doesn't send us anything anymore. On call, they get paid $30 for a routine and $45 for a rush. So that's those drop downs. CalCiv Pros, $25. Most CalCiv Pros businesses and they're routine, so they're easy peasy. Links, $20 for posting, $45 for UDs. They're the only exception to the UDs because I have a bad contract with them. Filing fees, if you go to the court, you file something, $15 per time you go. Those are usually pretty easy unless it becomes complicated. Then I'll work that out with you guys. Filing fees for additional cases. If you have more cases, different cases on the same day, you'll get paid $10. That's something we used to do back in the old days. Filing papers need to be one-sided and 8.5 by 11. Just a quick note. This is now ADIR. If I send you to do an ADIR filing, there might be 10 cases, but it just pays $15 for a drop-off, $15 for a pickup. Okay. Sheriff's drop-offs, these are $20. If I have you drop off a packet to the sheriff's office, you're just going in, dropping it off, getting a stamp and leaving. Stakeouts are 30 with a 4-hour minimum. I try to stick to that. Sometimes the client just wants 2 hours. Call you. You got 2 hours. You want to make $60. Special circumstances. I'll send you guys all a copy of this. There might be a few changes after I talk to Jeannie, but I'll send you guys a copy of that. That's the pay fees. You guys know how to do your invoice templates. You guys send me your information. I think we're doing good with there. Okay, I'm going to get on 2 topics real quick, and then I'll open it up, and you guys can ask questions if you have any, or if you guys want to take off, you guys can do that. Training for your own work. I want you guys to be successful. You guys are contractors. I want to train you guys to be able to take on your own cases. If you have questions, you want to know how much to bill, you guys want to know how much to charge for your clients, things like that. I want to help you guys out. So reach out to me. I'll try to set some time aside with you guys. You can use my template. You could use, whatever. For marketing purposes and my own preservation services, I believe you guys can charge more than what I charge. I get a lot of bulk, so I charge a little bit less, but just go off of our sheet. You guys can charge more. I think you guys can. These would be for you guys retaining and getting your own clients, okay? And if you guys need help with proofs, Ishmael, you and I are going to have a conversation later. Did my mouse freeze or my computer froze? No.
Okay, I'm still here.
Okay, well, we'll have a conversation later. My mouse died, so we're stuck on this screen right now. But I'll help you guys if you guys need help with proofs and stuff like that. I'll help you guys. I'll go over those kind of things. We get enough juice for a minute. Okay, my mouse died, so we're gonna conversate for a minute. If you guys need help on how to do marketing, if you guys need help on doing cards, whatever you guys need help with, I will help you guys. And I've extended that out to a lot of people. A lot of people had no idea about process serving before starting with me. And now you guys are more successful than I am, which is what I want to see. I just ask that you guys work on our stuff as well too. Don't forget about us, the little guy, later when you guys get bigger. So if you guys have cases and you guys get a call and somebody wants you to serve something outside of your area, Charisse, I'm going to get to you in just a quick second. You guys can send those jobs to us and we'll send them out to somebody else. If you're sending it to us, I'll work out the fee for you guys. Usually it's about $10 more than what I would have paid you guys. You guys could send to us. For example, if you have a small claims in Arcadia and you are in Long Beach, I will gladly have either myself or one of my team out here serve it. We will charge you guys $10 more than what I would pay you on that job. So a normal in-house small claims case would be $35. I'll bill you $45. That'll cover me having to bill you, me having to set up the documents, sending it out to the server, paying that server and getting you your status and getting your information back. You will then do your proof of service, send it to us, we'll sign it, go from there. But what does that mean to you? It broadens your territory. So now you guys can accept jobs somewhere else where you wouldn't have normally gone. So you can still bill your client whatever you would have billed them, 120 bucks, 110 bucks, whatever you had, you can still bill them that. But then you know that you're not going to have to drive way out there and do that. That being said, I extend that service out to any of the servers. If you guys have your own companies, you guys want to do that, that's fine. But I expect you guys to take on those jobs and treat them just like a regular in-house case. I know Charisse and I have been talking for the last couple days. There was an issue with too much time in between attempts. It makes her company look bad, and then it makes me look bad. And I don't want anybody to look bad. I just want you guys to pay attention to the timing. Routine services, we're promising our clients 1 to 3 days. You're promising your client 1 to 3 days. If you get a job, I want the attempts to be made in that time frame. And the last thing is your proof of services. Also, if we have instructions and the client's asking you to do something, it may have come from an affiliate, which is one of you guys. It may have come from another process serving company from out of the area. It may have come from another company in the area, or it may have come from somebody that we got through our network that we work with. I have a guy in New Jersey sends me a lot of work, and you guys handle those work, and we send it to him. I don't want to look bad to the clients, and I want to make sure that we're giving them excellent service. So if you guys follow the instructions that we just talked through, 1 through 22, we shouldn't have any issues, any more conversation. For POS types, I'll touch on that real quick. So if you have a summons or complaint, California, the Judicial Council has forms online. Just Google the form and they'll pop up. For a summons and complaint, SUM 100, you're going to use a POS 10. I have that here. And some of the documents, if you just go through and read them, they'll tell you. Separate proof of service is required for each party served. We already know that. Proof of service of summons. If you're not serving a summons, it's a different proof, but most proofs are label coded. So an FL 100, that's a family law document because it says FL, so they're label coded. What you can do is go to the Judicial Council, California courts. Come on, give me this search. FL 100. So you would go here. Here's the website. It's California. It's selfhelp.courts.ca.gov. I'll send that in a follow-up email for you guys. But you can see petition, family law. Whatever the document is that you're looking for. But you can go to. I haven't used this in a while, but you can go to Judicial Council. I think it's Nancy. Oh, here it is. Forms and rules. So you can go to Judicial Council forms. So it's courts.ca.gov and then forms, and every single form for each type of case will be there. Why are you shaking your head no? You're muted. I'm watching you.
I'm doing something.
Okay, I don't know because you do this. So if you guys didn't
I'm
know,
listening
Nancy's
too.
also a paralegal. So she does family law cases. If you guys get a case, this is a free plug for you, Nance. If you guys get somebody that needs help with family law documents, they want to help file a divorce, or they need help with restraining order, and it's above your head or your pay grade, you could either reach out to Nancy, and I believe Charisse does the same thing. But Nancy has been doing it for probably longer than I've been alive.
24 years.
Longer than I've been alive. So anyway, you guys go to the courts website, courts.ca.gov, click on forms. You can find all your types of forms here. So if it is a civil case, look at that. See, this is for a civil harassment case. So CH100, CH100 info, your proof of services, all of them will be here. So you can type in proof. Look at that, proof of personal service. You guys don't know, I'll show you again. So civil, this would be for civil harassment. Civil, anything that has to do with civil. We'll go here. I'll do it under a small claims. Let's do small claims. So you go to small claims. Here's every single form you'll need for small claims. And then you just, in your browser, if you guys are tech savvy, you'll just type in Command F, proof, and you'll see all the proof of service forms. So you have SC 104, proof of service for small claims. From there, going back to your civil, you have your proofs here. You have a CH 200, CH 250. That's if you do it by mail. And each one of the forms you can read through it and it'll tell you. So a Civ 120 is notice of entry of dismissal. You're dismissing the case. Where is my POS? Anyway, they're here. I'm a pretty good reference point if you need a quick, guide, but I implore you to do your own work and try to figure that out. I will always help you if you need help, but learning yourself is the best way to do it. All right, I think I am done yelling at you guys. If you guys have anything, I open it up. If you want, maybe I think you can go in the chat. We'll go through the list. Anybody have anything?
I just want to mention one thing. If you guys do refer any family law document preparation cases to me, with restraining orders, anything that needs document preparation and filing, I do give a referral fee to you guys. So it's not going to be just a free referral like that. I will pay you guys for that. That's all.
How come you never paid me? Anyway,
Too bad,
anybody?
so sad.
Anybody else have anything else? Charisse, if you want to kind of air your grievances, please do.
I don't want to. Oh, hi, everybody. Hi, Johnny. Good morning or good afternoon. No, I don't really want to air grievances because you kind of like touched on exactly what needed to be said. But I am a server that has my own company, and I'm trying to market to outside of my territory, which is Long Beach area. And so I've been getting jobs sent to you guys, and some of them haven't been as I don't want to sound like, I'm griping, but the attempts, dropping the ball, and it's making me look bad, and then it's gonna make Johnny look bad. So I'm just trying to say, as a team, because I'm gonna be trying to bring in more work, but then it's been a few orders that I've brought in, and the results aren't matching up with what I say is going to be done as far as the attempts being made in a reasonable time. Because I know I have one that's out right now. I sent the order on September 12th. The first attempt was September 18th. There has been no attempt since. And it's a divorce case. And so the client, she wants her divorce. And so she wants this served. So it's like, I've been waiting, and it's only one attempt been made since. So that's the kind of stuff that Johnny is referring to that is irritating on my end, but I'm just trying to be patient. So I'm hoping that attempt is made ASAP, or I will have to make it myself because I did promise the client it was going to get done. So that's just my grievance. It's just about making sure you communicate. And if you do make an attempt on the orders, share it. I would say the same day, if not in the same general hour, particularly if it's an order regarding
share it on the spot. Log your GPS, share it on the spot.
Because especially if it matters as far as like restraining orders, divorce, anything that's family related, because you never know like the relationship the two have, right? So if somebody's crazy and then they got alerted that they're getting divorced, and they didn't know, that person may react. And if the person that hired you, doesn't know that they were served, they're not going to be on the lookout like, oh my God, this person knows now, So it just keeps everybody abreast at one time, and cut down on having to go back and forth and do the notes and all that stuff if everything is shared right when it happens, at least as soon as you can.
I will touch on the sharing real quick. If you guys share it on the spot, you guys are off the hook. For anybody that sends us work, we still have to filter through some of the attempts. So it might take a little bit to get to you, but we will do our very best. And Charisse knows you can always text me if it's not visible. I will, from my mobile device, as soon as I can, send it out to you guys.
If I put it on the app, an attempt, will it automatically share?
No, it won't pass through. We have to filter it. It passes directly through a lot of our clients and the exchange jobs that are now coming through. If you see an exchange job, it'll pass on there. I've built a very big relationship with Serve Manager and the whole team behind Serve Manager. So I have good communications with them, but they're changing a lot of stuff, and they're pushing the one legal jobs that I'm kind of glad we got rid of to the InfoTrack job. So it's going to be the same volume coming in, but we're going to get paid more for them. But those are the only ones that'll pass through. So if you send me a job, Keith, and you know, Melissa serves it, then when Melissa makes her attempt, I will see it and I'll have to share it to you. So if you see that it's there as an attempt or served, just reach out to me and we'll work on it. But Jeannie comes in at 9. She leaves usually at 5:30 to 6, most of the time 6:30 because she's a workaholic and I don't know why she likes me so much. But she will go through and share the jobs as they come in.
Beware of dog signs. I have a taser. I've only had to use it once. Is that a problem or an issue?
I don't see a problem with it. Pepper spray might be your friend as well too. I have tased people, so I'm not probably the one to ask.
Yeah.
Beware of dogs. Pepper spray usually works a little bit better. I've noticed. They, you know, puts them down pretty quick. But I mean, you guys are contractors essentially, so your conduct is a reflection of me. So just try to do your best to not piss anybody off.
Exactly.
So that we can't ever do that because everybody's pissed off. They don't like us.
The dog owner might get pissed off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Johnny.
Yes.
For
Ishmael.
the area 90019, which is like around La Brea and Adams. Okay. So one time I was threatened to be killed, like the job forecasting, the one we did the last time. The
That's
other
going to happen
one.
anywhere, but yes, continue.
Yeah. So that area, what my suggestion, since it's unlawful detainer. So the only way to find them is to go around 7 because they're not there, they're working. So I tried, and there is one lady who I reported to you. She hit me with the document. That old lady, the other one, he threatened to kill me. Another one, I remember, gang around me. I have to, return the job for you. So that area, Johnny, we need to go during the daytime.
That's
There
fine.
is nothing over there. But at
That's
night, but the issue, there is more chance to catch them at 7 or 8, better than to go during the daytime, because daytime they are working or they are not home. That's
Your safety is the number one concern. So do your very best. Try to get there when you can. If it's a bad area, report that back. We'll let the client know. On those situations, go early in the morning. Tweakers and crackheads usually aren't up that early. Gangbangers are out gangbanging late at night. They're still asleep. I'm sure some of those sketchy areas, just go early in the morning.
Okay, I will. Yeah, just
Sheriff's Department has helped me out a lot.
And yes, that's another point. If you guys ever need a civil standby, don't hold your breath. But there are some situations, especially smaller towns. If you have an aggressive person and you want to wait around for them, they'll show up and help serve. I know Nancy's used them a few times, especially you smaller, people. If you need maybe somebody to back you up, if you have a really, bad situation, I'm not going to send you out there. We'll work it out with the client. And if there's a situation where it is an absolute must and it needs to be served and it's a dangerous situation, I'll go with you guys or I'll do it myself. So we'll work those out. Just communicate with us. Let us know what you guys need. What are your needs, and we'll work that out.
okay. Thank you.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah, some jobs, Johnny, for detainer. For instance, the one I had on Culver City, the access contact, which is the manager.
Yes.
So
she's
they are
called her
really-
office asking why you called every couple of hours.
Exactly. She called me saying he agreed to move, which I reported in the note. You can see it, right? And I told her, please call the office and tell them that you're canceling the job. And
well, she's just the property manager. She's not the client. She didn't send us the work. It's just a property management.
yeah, but what I can do, the lawyer is blaming me after that and not finishing the job, which I already reported what I heard from her, told her to call. That's what the reason I told her to call you guys or talk to the lawyer. And then I think a month later, I got it back.
Just work. Well, let me know about those. This is one of those situations where you should know your cases, know your territory, know your jobs. reach out to us and let us know.
I did with I did report it by note and by phone too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Look at this one.
Wife or husband, whatever you have, and your children, right? You know nothing. Someone comes up, does something, you just tell them that's not how it is, and they tell you no, that they know someone lives there. By a different name. You try and be helpful, say
Anyway, we get a lot of feedback. This was somebody got served a few days ago, found us. I was trying to find that video for you guys. I wanted to share it with you of me serving through the window, but I can't find it. Anybody else have anything else? I don't want to take up more of your guys' day. I hope this was informative. I hope it was helpful. Most of you guys,
Hey,
this
John.
doesn't apply to. Yes.
My phone is running out, so I have to ask a question.
Sure.
It's just more of a minor annoyance, something that I deal with every now and then. And I'm trying to, because I'm still adjusting to my conflicting schedules. Whenever you go to like a closed off community, like in a security that has to let you in, but like let's say it's a guy who's new on the job, doesn't even know what a fucking process server is, and even if you tell them, they don't want to let you in. Like, what can you like say so they can let you in to serve the person? Because I usually go like, can I speak to the manager? And then they try to call the manager, and sometimes they're not available, but still they're like, we can't let you in, you know? Ideally, I want to get all of my attempts done again on like the first attempt, so I don't have to go back, you know?
I'm trying to find you the code.
Well,
It's CCP 41521. That's the actual law that regards to that. CCP 415.21 allows a registered process server to access gated communities and covered multifamily dwellings to perform lawful service of process. The law also applies to investigators employed by the Attorney General, County Council, City Attorney, District Attorney, Public Defender, and sheriffs. Access. Guards and other security personnel must grant access to process servers who identify themselves and state their purpose. Identification, you have your process server card. The law
yeah,
change
I'll just hit them with that then,
you
because
can hit them with that, but I've heard there's a gated community. I can see it from my office. There's a gated community right across the street behind the Ralph's, and they won't let me in. And they've actually called the police on me several times over there. So I know my area. So if a client calls for that, I explain to them the situation and I go from there. Now, if it's a summons and complaint, a small claims,
subserve, yeah.
drop serve it. If it's a subpoena, if the security guard is not letting you go to do your service or process and they are acting as a gatekeeper, you can subserve them.
Yeah.
Establish your diligence if needed, and then subserve, because what that will do is it will allow us to then mail a copy to properly notify the other party.
It's just annoying how many people in those jobs don't even know who we are. They're like not even trained at all.
Not a clue. Not a clue. Not a clue.
Not a crime to be stupid.
And then you get the other people that know exactly what you're doing and they're helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny, yesterday I have a PO box to serve, and the UPS employee, she asked me if it's
for your registration card. I think I even put that in the job note. Make sure you take your registration card because they will always ask.
Yeah, but she didn't ask who I am. She wants to refuse the document. I think she's not allowed to do that, right?
If you go to a UPS store, specifically UPS, United Parcel Service.
No. UPS, not USPS.
They want to see your process server registration card. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been hit with this. UPS store has a policy. They will accept service or process, but they need to see your registration card. If the clerk there doesn't know, then ask to speak to the supervisor. Supervisor should know.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Here's a little cliff note to that. If somebody gave up the box at least 2 years ago or less than 2 years ago, you can still subserve it. Even if they refuse it, you can still subserve it. They are required by law to take the papers. If they gave up the box 2 years and 1 day, then you cannot serve it there.
Yeah, but this information I tried many times, Johnny, And what they replay, they are saying it's a private, personal information about client, and we cannot tell you if the time or how long he's been out of the PO box. That's one of the situation I'm going through. That's what that's what they're saying.
In that situation, what I would personally do is drop serve it anyway, because you're already there. You're going to waste 30 cents on a packet. So drop serve it and leave, and then report that information back to us and see if we want to use that service or not. Because then I can follow up on the back end, run a skip trace, figure out what's going on with the address. If it's still showing current, then we'll say, you know what, it's fine. It's a good serve. It still shows current as of this date, and we'll move forward. But that saves you a trip to go back out instead of bad addressing that out, because the worst that's going to happen is they're going to throw it away. But you've done your job, so you don't have to go back out. That's it. But don't be rude about it. If you get there and it's been like, no, I don't know this guy. We never had this box. We never did. Obviously, don't do that. If they said, yeah, he used to have a box here, but we can't tell you how long it's been, that would be a situation to drop serve it. If you click on, they say, I have no record of this client, don't drop serve it. So use your judgment.
Okay, thank you.
How about if they refuse service? What do you do?
The UPS store?
No, not a UPS store, like a mailbox store.
Yeah, if it's a private mailbox, drop serve it. I had a guy at a FedEx print and ship that had PO boxes there. I had him throw a box at me. He followed me out, threw the papers in my car. He had a box in his hand and he chucked it at me. And it was a FedEx employee.
Wow.
You drop serve it.
Special delivery.
Special delivery, yes. It was very special. If you guys
Did it hurt the box?
No, I hurt myself. I was crying.
Oh.
He boxed me. He boxed me.
Sorry.
Anything else? Does anybody have any questions? There's a couple of new faces here. I won't out you guys, but I want to thank you guys.
Yeah, Johnny, please, as we spoke last time for the detainer, can you also...
Did I get into the unlawful detainers? No, I did not. I think we skipped totally through that.
No, sorry, I forgot to mention
I don't think so.
Yeah, you did not, Johnny. You said we had the conversation last time. I said we will mention it on the meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go back. I'll take up 5 more minutes of your guys' time.
Appreciate it, Johnny. Thank you.
Okay. I was about to let you guys go. We got through the point. Okay. Unlawful detainers are flooding in now. They were stopped for a very long time because of COVID. You could not evict anybody. And in that time, they changed a lot of rules and a lot of laws. In the mid part of 23, they changed some laws. They added some new codes. There's some new laws. I'm going to read a few of these laws, and I've sent them to you. I'm also going to send you guys the UD workflow. Unlawful detainers start with somebody breaching the contract of renting a property. Usually that's the case. Sometimes they'll be doing drugs. They got to get evicted. Sometimes they won't pay the rent. They got to get evicted. There's many reasons that somebody will evict somebody from the house. The first step of the UD, let me pull up my UD workflow. I'm sorry, I almost forgot the most important part. Okay, can you guys see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I might have sent this to you. If not, I will send it to you.
Please,
So
yes.
for you guys, as it goes, the notice, you must give notice to the tenants. This notice is usually a 3-day, a 5-day, a 30-day, a 60-day, or a notice of entry for repairs or an inspection or something changing the terms. I had a client, and I think Nancy has a client similar to as well too, where they own a bunch of apartment complexes. And I think a few years back, they changed the terms of everybody's lease, and we had to go and post notices to everybody's door. If you have any kind of notice, you can post it to their door on the first attempt, and then we'll mail a copy of it to their property, unless you have specific instructions that say, treat it like a summons and complaint, or personal service only. Notices can be subserved. This goes back to, posted. This goes back to knowing your documents. A notice can be subserved or posted on the first attempt, and then we'll follow it up with the mailing, and we'll get that proof of service out. Usually our clients send a 3-day or a 5-day notice. That means the eviction process. They haven't paid their rent. They need to get out of the property. The notice can be given following means: personal service to the occupant or tenants, affixing the document so that I put the specific verbiage that the court wants to see. Affixing the document so that it is not readily removable in a conspicuous place on the premises in a manner most likely to give actual notice to that occupant, and sending the same address to the occupant by first-class mail. It is imperative that the notice is posted on the correct address. I know a couple of you guys are remembering a case where it was posted on the wrong unit by accident. If it is posted on the wrong unit and we get to the eviction and the sheriff goes to remove them, we just lost 3 to 4 months and thousands of dollars for a client. The notice has to be on the correct address. If you want to take a picture of it in front of the property, whatever the case may be. If you're not able to access the unit's door because of a gate or obstruction, this was your question earlier, Colin, you must post it in the place that is most likely to give notice, entrance to the individual property or unit mailbox. You may not post the notice on the front door, on the front of a large apartment complex or parking garage or a gate. Now, if you come up to a single family residence and it says, beware of dog, and there's a bunch of pit bulls, put it right on the beware of dog sign, right in front of the gate that they're going to use to access to get into the property. If they get in from a back gate or a side gate, figure out how they would get to the front door and get past those dogs and post it to that location. Okay. Notices should be posted right away. They're easy. You're just making your first stop. So if you get a posting, I want that done within 24 hours. I know you guys get paid whatever, $25, whatever it is for those jobs, but I want those posted right away. That is what starts the clock to evict the people that need to be evicted. So if you wait 2 days to post that notice, we just lost $200 if the rent is $3,000. Some of these properties you guys are going to, they're really nice, elegant properties. Their rent is $5,000, $6,000, $10,000. So just do the math. Every day that that notice is not posted, it's 1 day we lose. The only caveat to that is if the client says, I need you to post it on a specific date. Now there's a new law in California where if it's in a certain part of the city, the client then needs to update that notice to the city. They have to upload it. So it's very important that when you post it, that we do the proof of services on the back end right away. So you update right away, we do the proof right away, we sign it right away, we send it to the client so they can begin the eviction process. Next action after the notice is expired. So we give them their 3 days. They didn't pay the rent. They didn't fix the problem. They didn't get rid of the drug dealers, the dog, whatever the reason is. The next step to that is the unlawful detainer, the UD, or the eviction. It's all the same thing. Unlawful detainer means that they are possessing the property illegally at this point because they've been given notice. Okay. This is where I tell you, know your territory, know your cases. If you post a 3-day notice and it looks like a scummy area, chances are that's getting followed up, or if it's from an attorney, chances are that's getting followed up with a UD. So get knowledgeable with the area, figure out where you park, see what kind of people you see. Be nice to the people that there if you serve them, because you're probably coming back to evict them. They're going to bitch and complain to you. Oh, I paid my rent. I did this. I'll take care. What's happening on the back end is not what they're telling you in the front. This is the lawsuit. So the UD will be the lawsuit that's used to evict the tenants from the property. Please make sure there is a summons and a complaint in the unlawful detainer package and a prejudgment right of claim of possession, PJRCP, in the service packet. Check your documents. So if you get the summons and complaint packet for a UD, it says on there, UD. Look for the additional documents. The prejudgment right to claim, that is for looking here. That is for anybody that's living in the property who claims a right to live there. If this does not get served, and you don't put the date of service on this
Do
PJ,
you agree with my recap?
say again. So if you have the PJRC, this is the prejudgment claim. If this is not served and you don't date this, the date you serve it, it invalidates it. It's like endorsing it. And this is only for unknown occupants. You don't have to give this to named defendant, but usually it's in the packet. Okay, so if there's an unknown and you sub it, just put a date right here. To be completed by the process server. Date that form is served or delivered, posted and mailed by the office or process server. Okay, so that's very important. That goes there. It's in the packet. Okay, so that's the first step, is going out and serving the UD. The UD usually comprises of one named defendant. So we have one person minimum holding possession of the property. That's usually the tenant that's on the lease. Might be a husband and wife, so then there's two. It might be a whole bunch of roommates, so the names stack up. So each defendant needs their own copy. And then also an unknown occupant gets added. So if it's only one person that's on the lease that's being sued, 2 packets are served. Usually we'll break it up into 2 jobs. Usually have the named defendants. They must be personally served or subserved with diligence. If you are not able to personally serve the named defendant, then substitute service is acceptable with proper diligence. 2 unsuccessful attempts, guys. This is the same rule as the summons and complaint. See diligence in your SOP handbook. I'll send that to you guys as well after this to read. Exhausting your attempts. If you're not, we know you get out there the first day, they know they're getting served. That notice gets posted. They know exactly what you look like, what you drive. You get out there, they're going to hide. If you catch them, great. If you don't, make your attempts quickly. 2 in 1 day if you have to. 3 days, 4 days. I don't want it to go past 4 to 5 days to get these guys served. Morning, evening, if it goes into the weekend attempt. Okay, so they can be personally served or subserved. Personally served on any attempt, subserved after the 3rd attempt. Okay, unknown occupants, drop it on the 1st attempt, subserve it. I don't mean drop it like without telling them. Subserve unknown occupants on the 1st attempt. We used to be able to post the unknown occupants on the 1st attempt. They changed that rule with a general order in 23. So we can no longer post unknown occupants at all under any circumstance. You do not post a copy for unknown occupants unless specifically instructed to, and that will be a major red flag, and you'll have highlighted that you'll get the unknown occupants can't be posted anymore. Okay, so your first round of attempts, I'm seeing if there is anything that I'm skipping over. Your first round of attempts, if you can't serve them, you know they're going to be difficult, non-serve it out. Make your 4 attempts. Okay, after you make your 4 attempts, then we will provide a declaration of diligence to the client. The client takes that declaration of diligence, goes to court and tells the judge, we can't serve them, they're hiding. This is what we've done. The judge will then give us an order, an application. It's called an application in order to post. Okay? Trying to find one so you can see what it looks like. The application in order to post only applies to the named defendants. I think Ellie just did one. Here it is. So you can see the timeline. If you guys can see my screen here, you can see my timeline. Ali got this job, and if I search this name, there might even be a notice in there somewhere. So we got the notice. He got the unlawful detainer package on August 8th. He quickly banged out his attempts, non-service, declaration of diligence. Then it came back on September 24th. So you see the tenants in there are intentionally wasting time. Came back, and there is now an application in order to post. Okay, and it's only for Deanna Bell. That's the only named defendant that's allowed to be posted on. So you're only going to post a copy for Deanna Bell. But guess what is attached to this? Elias's declaration of diligence. This is what we need to get that order to post. Okay. Let me go back to my little worksheet. Exhaust your attempts. If you're not able to serve the named defendant within your allowed number of attempts, then you report non-service on your last attempt, unnamed or unknown occupants. That goes for both, your named and unnamed. Unknown occupants packets, may be subserved on the first attempt if you are able to make contact with anyone living in the home over the age of 18. You must also post a copy to the door in the same manner as the notice. Only manner of service available for unknown occupants is substitute service. Okay. For vacant properties, if the property is vacant, I want you guys to report as soon as you can that it is vacant. Then we're going to add another document to the next attempts. But we have to exhaust our 4 attempts. Okay. We need to get that declaration of diligence so that the client can put their order to request their application order to post. So the judge will allow us to serve them by posting, because we don't know where they live. They just moved out. And even if it's vacant, we need to get that application order to post. In order to get the application order to post, we need to establish our diligence. When the property is vacant on the first attempt, you look through the blinds and you can clearly see it's vacant, let us know. The client will also then send us a notice of belief of abandonment. So when you go out on your second or your third attempt, then we can post the notice of belief of abandonment to the door, make your fourth attempt, and now we have 2 time frames running. One, the time frame to get an application order to post, also the date that the notice of belief of abandonment was. If they don't respond within 14 days, we can now take possession of the property without having to wait for an application order to post, and then without having to go back out and post, without having to wait for a trial date, and then 15 days after the post. So we're trying to save time. Every day that these go on, the owners are losing money. So you can see in this time frame here from the initial contact, let me just see if I can find the notice. I just want to show you guys so you can see a clear example of why this is important for us to do our job. So it came in on August 8th. It was posted on September 24th. Oh, come on, Google, help me out here. 47 days. So it took 47 days. Now from September 24th, you have to add another 15 days after we did the certified mailing. So the last day would be the 25th. So that's another 5, that's 30. October 15th is the first day that they're allowed to take possession of the property. And in that time frame, my math is not good right off the bat, 62 days have gone by, and at $100 a day, that's $6,200. That's why it's important to get these things served very quickly. I wanted you guys to have a visualization of that. And that's assuming it's a $3,000 rent. Okay, so we got the vacant properties. On our end, we should be checking the documents, making sure everything's there. We should check to make sure the summons complaint, the PJRCP is in there. Check that the address is viable, that they made sure the right unit number, things like that. We're going to try to do that on our end. We're going to try to duplicate the job for unknown occupants if the client didn't already create it. We're going to dispatch it out to you guys. We're going to invoice our client. You guys need to accept those jobs right away. I'm going to try to get with serve managers so that they can change something about these types of jobs so that they're paid attention to a little bit more. The 3 big counts that I just got are UDs. We're going to be getting a lot of them, and they're all over LA. After service, we need to ensure that the service was done proper, diligence was established, the posting was done correctly, that the persons were personally served, whatever the case may be. Do your proper mailing. So we have to either send it out first class mail for subservice. If it's application order to post, we have to send it out certified mail. And that takes time for us to leave the office and go serve it. We'll take care of the back end stuff. We need to complete the affidavit of service. We need to make sure the proof of services are to the client quickly. For subservice, the documents, we need to make sure the DOD is there. And there's a couple other things there as well too. A couple other things to note: if you serve it personally, they have 5 days to respond. The tenant, if they don't respond in that 5 days, then they can be evicted by default. That is the best case scenario for the client. If they get evicted by default, we need to make sure that we're getting them their proof of service quickly, because if they don't have their proof of service, they cannot apply for a default. Sorry, I'm rambling, guys. I'm trying to get through this very quickly. What else do I have? Does anybody have any questions for the UDs? That's the most important thing that I wanted to go over in this thing, and I can't believe I forgot it, and I dragged you guys on for another 30 minutes. Anybody have questions? We're good?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, guys. And if you do have questions, don't hesitate to call, and I will work them out with you guys. I'm going to send you guys a follow-up email. It might not be today, and it's going to be this video, the updated pay sheet, the UD workflow, and what we talked about.
And the recording.
Oh, I should have started recording. No,
Yeah, I think it did.
I did. Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you for
I
your
just have
time.
one last question.
Too late.
Am I gonna get an
Speak now
attempt?
or forever hold your. What's that?
Am I gonna get an attempt today?
I will ask that specific server right now. For
Thank
that
you.
attempt.
'Cause otherwise I'll have to do it myself.
No, we'll get it done today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Have a good day, everybody.
You too. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.